Welcome to the Rich Report, a podcast with news and information on the world of big data. Today my guest is from a company called Optifinow. We have John McGee. He is the CEO of the company. So John, welcome to the show today.
Thanks, Rich. Glad to be here.
Thanks for coming on, John. You know, I read the headlines, Salesforce acquiring ExactTarget. And, I thought we should chat because I didn't really understand the role that your company plays and what you bring to the table.
Oh, great. Well, thanks for asking. Optifinow is a sales automation solution that helps sales teams, the individual sales reps, be more effective in their communications and in their response to customers, which will, in the end, drive increased revenues, increased closed deals and opportunities for the individual enterprise. And we're talking today about how Salesforce's recent acquisition of ExactTarget kind of plays into this big picture of the new area of digital marketing and how digital selling, which is what Optifinow provides, will work hand in hand in the future here to just increase the ROI for companies across the board.
So this sounds like an expanded opportunity for Optifinow.
It is an expanded opportunity. We've been a partner with Salesforce for many years, as well as a partner with ExactTarget for many years. So we were excited to see the combination of both Salesforce and ExactTarget come into play over the last couple of years. And right now we're looking at slide number 1, where we can see there's been some recent news in the last month or so here where Salesforce has recently acquired ExactTarget. ExactTarget being probably the industry-leading email service provider for many years and kind of an industry-leading solution for many large enterprises over the years. We see the Salesforce acquisition of ExactTarget as a response to news that happened about 6 months ago, which was Oracle's purchase of a company named Eloqua. Both ExactTarget and Eloqua are providing marketing automation solutions, or have been providing marketing automation solutions independently. And now that they're brought into the fold of Eloqua into Oracle and ExactTarget in the Salesforce, we can see that there's been some movement in the CRM industry now to enhance their service offering to include marketing automation tools. And recently, even since the slide set was created, there's been another solution out there in the market. A company named Neolane, just last week, was recently purchased by Adobe. So we can see that marketing automation has been a big move, a big play by many of these large solution providers to try to embed themselves further into the enterprise. And as we move on to slide number 3, what we see is that's a positive step. ExactTarget being part of Salesforce or Eloqua being part of Oracle, it's a positive step. But where we still see a big gap in a lot of these enterprise-level solutions is that although ExactTarget into Salesforce will help the enterprise increase the number of leads they're able to bring into their organization, into their sales pipeline, which is the focus of marketing automation, is outbound marketing efforts to drive leads into the enterprise. Then those leads are nurtured until the point in time that they're a sales qualified lead. And then the lead is passed on to the sales team, and it's up to the sales team's job, obviously, to close those leads into opportunities and into closed, loyal, retained customers. And that's where we see the big gap right now on slide number 3, that even though we're driving more leads into the solution, into the CRM solution, being Salesforce in this case, we don't see any tools inside of Salesforce to help those individual salespeople manage and convert those leads better. Right now, Salesforce is a big database structure from a salesperson's perspective, but there's no individual tools inside of Salesforce without going out to some third-party solutions that really help the salesperson better organize, better manage, better communicate, be more effective, be more efficient in their communications and in their sales pipeline efforts to drive those new leads to close customers. In fact, if we move on to slide number 4, in fact, we'll see that Salesforce has started to generate a reputation in Oracle for many years as well as being a little cumbersome from the salesperson's perspective. Lots and lots of data entry fields that are spread across many different clicks. For example, it might take an individual salesperson who's working on an individual contact within a Salesforce database, maybe one of those leads that came in through ExactTarget. It might take him 4 or 5 or 6 screens to get through his individual setup of that lead or contact in the database, or to mark an opportunity or an activity that he took with the individual record or the individual contact. But the effort that he's doing is just to enter data into the solution. And in the entering of the data into the solution, now it's part of the history of that record. And so now from a sales manager perspective, sales managers can see what their salespeople are doing. But from the individual salesperson's perspective, he's just spent time working in an interface to enter data so that the sales manager knows what he's doing, but hasn't done anything to actually help him generate $1 more worth of revenue for the company. He's just tracking data, and that can be very time-consuming and very cumbersome for individual salespeople. And so we're starting to see a little bit of slide in terms of enthusiasm around CRM solutions by the sales teams. CRM is obviously a very necessary aspect of all companies, the tracking of all the customer data and into a seamless integrated database. But from an individual salesperson's perspective, it can be very cumbersome and very time-consuming. As we jump to slide number 5, we're talking about digital marketing, which has been obviously a big area of investment over the last few months here, and that the digital marketing's main goal, find potential customers, to nurture those potential customers, to bring them down to however the enterprise defines a sales-ready or a sales-qualified lead. At that point in time, now that lead is now transferred into the sales teams, out of the control of the marketing team and into the sales team, for the sales team to do what they need to do. Digital marketing uses a number of different techniques to do that. They're using, outbound email primarily is one of the mainstays of digital marketing. But you're starting to see some of them also integrate in different areas. They have social media messaging going out to try to drive inbound leads, and SMS messaging going out to drive inbound leads. As we move on to slide 6, though, the problem is without digital selling tools, all the investments that we're making, all the ROI that we're expecting out of all those new inbound leads, because of ineffective or inefficient sales processes, that the wrong combination of tools within an application like a Salesforce to help the sales team, just because we're driving more leads doesn't necessarily mean we're going to drive more sales. And so helping those individual salespeople tasked with converting those leads is what we're calling digital selling. And digital selling as we see it, is the next big wave for the organizations. And by digital selling, we're talking about providing tools, the common sense tools that all salespeople need in their efforts to convert customers. In the same way that in digital marketing, we're able to drive outbound messaging that are both relevant, personalized, more of a one-to-one communication standard. We need to be able to provide those same tools to the salesperson, so that at the end of an individual day, a salesperson isn't spending countless hours drafting emails, licking stamps to apply to envelopes, handwriting postcards, generating their own flyers. Those tools, those communication touch points, should all be available and automated for the salesperson, so that as he has more leads, he has more time now to work those leads. He has more customer-facing time as opposed to administrative task time in terms of his customer touchpoint needs along the way. And as well, trying to streamline these interfaces. An interface in Salesforce.com can be quite complex. And we're not asking our salespeople to be, technological gurus. We're asking them to be good salespeople. So simplify the interfaces so that the salesperson has the tools, has the information that they need to communicate effectively to their customers, and simplify that down to where it's 1 or 2 clicks as opposed to 6 or 7 clicks, so that we still are reporting up the ladder, all the data that our sales management needs, because that's obviously a very important aspect of CRM. But from the salesperson level, simplify it so that he doesn't go through 5 or 6 screens. He's going through maybe 1, 2 at the most. And not only is he going through those screens to do the data entry, simplify that data entry down to a few clicks, and not only have them do data entry, but also support that sales step that he just accomplished. Maybe he defined an opportunity, or he just got off a phone call and talked about a specific product. Support that salesperson with some outbound customer touch points that are both automated and compliant on behalf of the salesperson. And in that digital selling environment, now we're going to start to see an increase in ROI. We're going to start to see those leads being converted because our salespeople have more time. They have the right messaging. They have the right customer touch points to support those efforts that are being generated through the digital marketing area. As we move on to slide 7, that's where tools like Optifinow come into play. Optifinow takes a different approach to CRM. We are a CRM company. We have our own proprietary CRM. Plus, we also have a complete version of Optifinow that embeds inside of Salesforce for those customers, those enterprises that already have a Salesforce CRM. But our focus is on the salesperson. We know that it's important to report up the tree, all the different sales data, so that our sales management knows what's going on. But it's also equally important, if not more important, to provide the right sales tools to the individual salesperson to make him a better salesperson. Take a salesperson that might be a C-level salesperson and make him look like a B-level salesperson, or a B-level salesperson looking like an A-level salesperson from the perspective of the customer. As we move on to slide number 8, we're talking about how we can seamlessly integrate all the great tools that are available within a Salesforce.com, as well as within an ExactTarget, since we partnered with both. ExactTarget currently is being used by the marketing team to drive large outbound email campaigns or text message campaigns or social media campaigns. But what about those individual touch points that the salesperson needs to be able to outbound? Shouldn't he be also using those same tools like ExactTarget to be outbounding those individual emails so that we're tracking them through the same system that's embedded within our Salesforce environment? And that's what Optifinow does, is it gives those tools to the individual salesperson seamlessly, giving them the information that's available in both the ExactTarget database and in the Salesforce database, bringing it all together into a seamless interface within Salesforce, but simplified for the benefit of the salesperson so that he can have those increased customer touch points that are more compliant, more brand compliant, more legal compliant, more on target to the customer's needs, relevant and personalized to the individual customer. And as we move on to slide 8, or I'm sorry, it's to slide 9, I believe here, we're using these various fields of information that both exist at ExactTarget about how has that customer interacted with us through our email campaigns and our text message campaigns, and with the information that we have in Salesforce. Why can't we bring all that information into one environment to drive a really highly customized and personalized outbound response to that customer, so that it's not a generic, one-size-fits-all to our customers? We know demographic information. We know what region that customer happens to be in. We know who our salesperson is. We know information about our salesperson. We know information about our customer. We know information about what the customer's interests are, the products that they've bought, what their sales history is. You use all of that information to drive outbound communications that are relevant to that specific customer, so that we can have a closer relationship, a deeper relationship with that customer. If they bought a green car, then let's send them information about green cars. If they bought a red car, then let's send them information about red cars. Let's version everything so that it's relevant to the customer, relevant to what their wants and needs and likes are, and also relevant to what channels they like to communicate to us in. Optifinow provides additional channels that a lot of the digital marketing solutions don't provide. Most of them digital marketing lives in that email space primarily, and many companies now are working to figure out how to monetize that social media space, and then text message is kind of an add-on for some of the companies that are out there right now. But there's still a big play in the digital, in direct mail areas for many companies. So, we have to have all those channels. We have to have print output. We have to have direct mail output. We have to have email output. We have to have social media output. We have to have text message output. We have to speak in the language that our customers want to be spoken to. We have to be present in the channels that our customers are present in. And that's what Optifinow does, is brings together all those different channels whether you're inside of Salesforce or in your own proprietary version of Optifinow. And as we move on to slide number 10, I believe we're on now, these digital selling tools that I'm talking about, these are starting to be adopted now in a more mass market environment where enterprises are realizing, we've got to bring all these tools together and make them seamlessly work together. So we're doing some great work in marketing automation. We may be doing some great work in CRM, but the end goal of all of this is we need to generate more sales. We need to close more customers. And digital selling tools are going to be one of the big waves of the future here, that companies that bring all of those great efforts that they're doing on all these disparate solutions, bring them all together into one seamless solution for the benefit of the whole enterprise, is where we're really going to see the increases in ROI. And as we look at slide 11, one of the big areas where companies are really struggling right now in their customer touch points, I should talk about, is this whole issue of that we're in a more legalistic society, and so we need to make sure that we're maintaining compliance throughout all of our customer communications. And so that, as companies have spent, millions and millions of dollars over the years in brand compliance and in legal compliance, how do we empower all of that effort that we've done in all those different spaces? How do we push that compliance issue down to the individual salesperson with his individual communications to his individual customer? Well, that's where digital selling can really help. We can build those digital libraries that are now accessible to the individual salesperson. And those individual messages that the salesperson has access to should be configured dynamically, so that the salesperson doesn't have to think about compliance, doesn't need to think about demographic information. The system should dynamically build the appropriate pieces, the appropriate library for that individual salesperson based around the different rules of the enterprise. Maybe the rules are tied to price points that exist within regions, or legal issues that exist within regions, or brand-related issues that exist within regions. The individual salesperson doesn't need to know all that. He just needs to know what are the messages I'm supposed to use when I'm in communication with my customer. And digital selling brings that all together. So you may take that brand compliance issue, and you take that legal compliance issue, and you take those personalization issues, and you roll it all together into one effective solution that we're calling digital selling. And now if you mix that with all the digital marketing efforts that are going on and all the great CRM efforts that are going on, now you've built a really powerful ROI solution, a really powerful enterprise-level solution that's going to drive increased ROI throughout the whole process. And as we go on to our final slide, that's kind of where we see this whole evolution going. So Salesforce purchased of ExactTarget and Oracle's purchase of Local, those are great steps for the industry. It's great steps for the enterprise. The next big evolution is in pulling that all together into solutions that better enable the whole enterprise. All right, now Salesforce's purchase of ExactTarget or Oracle's purchase of Local, those are focused on the marketing team and the marketing department, leaving behind the salesperson. The next evolution is to help that salesperson. And in that space is where we really see the ROI that all companies are looking for, that true growth of revenues that all companies are looking for. So, Rich, thanks. It's great to have a chance to talk with you.
Yeah, well, thanks for that, John. A question, how did this get started for Optifinow?
Well, back, many years ago, Optifinow was providing, web-based solutions for individual companies. Before the whole age of digital marketing came in, or digital selling came in, we were developing sales solutions specifically for individual companies through engagements that we had from our programming arms, our development arms. And over the years, we developed a series of different solutions for individual companies, and realized that, that the solution that we developed over here for that company could also apply to this company. And so we started looking at some of these solutions that we were providing and start rolling them all together into one integrated package, which really focuses the whole efforts on the salesperson. It was built by our customers, because most of our customers at that time were all sales departments or sales teams for enterprise organizations. And we found that over the years, we were hearing the same stories, the same pain points from company A versus company B, even though company A might be in one vertical and company B might be in another vertical. That once a company gets to a certain size, certain scale of Salesforce where they have hundreds of salespeople spread across the nation and maybe regional offices spread across the nation. How do you maintain some standardized sales process? How do you maintain your best practice sales steps? How do you maintain personalized communications that are not coming from a generic corporate email, but coming from the individual salesperson that's responsible for that individual customer? How do they maintain standards and compliance, brand compliance and legal compliance, if each regional office was doing their own thing? That's where Optifinow really came into play. It's been on the market for about 3 years right now, but the company itself has been around for many years before that, as I mentioned, developing different solutions for different companies. And when we rolled it all together about 3 years ago into Optifinow, we found that it was really solving a lot of pain points that a lot of different sales organizations have. And then when we saw the growth of Salesforce.com, we decided we should also partner with Salesforce.com for those companies that already have a proprietary or a need or already have Salesforce CRM as part of their current enterprise solution. So Optifinow comes in two flavors. One is currently in the flavor of Salesforce, and then there's a second flavor, which is a proprietary CRM, which is built proprietarily inside of Optifinow for those companies that don't have a CRM solution embedded within their enterprise. And we're working on a new version right now for an integration with Eloqua. So as Eloqua has now moved into the clouds with a new CRM solution, we see that there's a good fit for us to partner with them so that we can cover the whole market of the enterprise, their needs of the individual sales team at the enterprise level, the individual salesperson at the enterprise level.
Yeah, yeah, and I love how you're targeting the end user. This making the sales guy a hero. I'm just curious, John, do you use your own tools for your own sales?
We do, actually. We don't. In some cases, you hear you got to eat your own dog food. We call it caviar, actually. we eat our own caviar.
Yeah.
But we do. We do it. We use it internally to manage all of our customer relationships through our own proprietary CRM with targeted best practice sales steps and targeted communications to support each of those different sales steps by our sales teams. And our customers appreciate it. It's a great way for not only for us to manage our customers, but it's also a great way for us to, as we're using our own tools, to learn about what future needs there might be in the world coming up. And so, as a result of that, we're about to release a new module. So Optifinow has a series of different modules built into it, kind of like when you buy Microsoft Office, you get Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and then you have optional other modules that you can buy. When you buy Optifinow, you have leads on demand, sales on demand, content on demand, marketing on demand, a number of other modules. We're about to release a new module called Publish on Demand, which is our answer to how do we help the individual sales rep in his social publishing needs. So companies spend lots and lots of money making sure that they're brand compliant in their print, making sure they're brand compliant in their emails, so that their individual salespeople have the right message at the right time with their customer. Well, there's a whole new channel, social media. And how do we make sure our sales reps are brand compliant or legal compliant in their tweets, or in their LinkedIn posts, or in their Facebook posts? I mean, we have to realize this as an organization that all enterprises have, enterprises that have hundreds of reps out there, that all those reps are tweeting, they're posting to LinkedIn and Facebook. And we have there's currently not a whole lot of process for those individual tweets or individual posts to be brand compliant, legal compliant. Well, that's the next move with Optifinow, is our Publish on Demand module is going to allow the enterprise marketing teams and sales management teams to develop a library of pre-approved, brand compliant tweets, posts for LinkedIn and Facebook. And so now, as opposed to a sales rep not posting, or posting whatever he wants to post about the company, he's going to be able to sort through a library of all the different posts and tweets that have been created by our marketing teams for the publishing by our individual salesperson. So you think of a company that has hundreds of salespeople, and you think about each of those hundreds of salespeople, each one of them may have 200, 300 followers on LinkedIn or followers on Facebook or Twitter. think of the scale of that messaging getting out now. As opposed to you're getting it out to just the people that happen to have liked your enterprise site. Maybe you have, all companies are spending efforts on growing their social media audiences on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. But that's just what they get, from followers of the individual company itself. But we also have followers of our individual sales team. And the scale of the numbers of fans and followers and likes that we have when we push out messaging to our salespeople and our salespeople push out messaging to their audience, it's a logarithmic growth. It's exponential in terms of the number of people we can now communicate to. So Publish on Demand is a module that's going to enable the companies now to manage those social media messages, developing brand compliant, legal compliant messaging, and now empowering their salespeople with one click to send out those tweets, send out those posts to their LinkedIn, to their Facebook, and to their Twitter account.
Well, that sounds like a powerful tool. I know it's hard to turn someone into a social media kind of avid producer. So more power to you there, John. Kind of a wrap-up question here. How easy is it to kick the tires on Optifinow?
Oh, very easy. We work with many enterprise organizations in a pilot type of environment where they can identify, some pilot group of users that want to kick the tires, as you said, on Optifinow. So we'll set up a solution for them. Optifinow is unique in that we're not like a Salesforce or an Oracle where you get a solution out of the box. The way it looks is the way you get it, and the way it works is the way it works. What we do with our individual customers is we meet with them and we understand what their business needs are, what solutions or what problems they're trying to solve, and we configure Optifinow so that it meets the needs of the enterprise itself. We customize each solution to each individual customer so that they have the combination of modules and services and communication touchpoints that are solving the problems that they're having within their sales organization. So in a pilot, we'll take a small group of users and configure an Optifinow platform for that individual enterprise so that those users can now work within a true, social media, direct mail, print, email compliant environment while they're interacting with all of their contacts and customers in all the various sales cycles and sales stages of that individual enterprise.
Well, terrific. Well, John McGee, I want to thank you once again for coming on the show today.
Thanks, Rich. I really enjoyed my time.
All right, you bet. Okay, folks, that's it for the Rich Report. Stay tuned for more news and information on the world of big data.